Yo, what's up, guys? Lobazone here. This is something I've been meaning to do for a while. Uh, I want to do a walkthrough of a solo run of Crota. And the reason I want to do this is because this is like one of the coolest things I think that is left to do in Destiny 1 for those who haven't done it already. And let's cut right to the chase. There are plenty of people who've done this. This is the easiest raid to do a solo run on. Guys like Esoteric and Glad, they've done this to perfection. This is not really for them. This is for people that aren't really of that level, like myself, who thought like I'll never be able to do a solo run. So this is kind of designed for them, and I've spliced together a couple different runs into make this one video where I go over a couple different tweaks to the best practices for Crota to make it a little more achievable for people who might not be at like the top skill level. Again, this is a really fun thing to do. It's definitely not easy. It's going to take a lot of trial and error, but you have about a month left before Destiny 2, so you might as well do it. Before we get started, the first thing I want to just touch on is you will need Sunbreakers for this. Buy them from Zuri, selling them this week, so a good time for it. Better hurry up though. So you need Sunbreakers. I'm gonna be running Warlock with Fireborn. That's the res perk, and Viking Funeral and Solar Flare grenades. I'll talk about some other little things here and there, but those ones are a key. All right, let's go. So the first part is the lamps. The whole key here, and you'll see I got Ether Nova. I'll talk about that in a second. The whole key here is you want to always have a grenade. And every time you go up to a lamp, you're going to throw a grenade in front of the lamp, one of these big solar grenades. Now, this first lamp here is kind of challenging because this is the only lamp in which all the thrall are coming at you. You'll see why that's a little tough in a second. So the first lamp can be a little tricky. For everyone else, throw the solar grenade in the front, turn around, and stand directly behind the solar grenade. When you do that, all the thrall are going to run through the solar grenade and burn. So that's the pattern for the entire part here. See what I'm doing? I'm throwing the solar grenade in front of the lamp, I'm stepping behind it, I am turning around, and I'm starting to fire my Ether Nova into the crowd. And the reason I'm doing that is because you gotta always have a grenade. And the Sunbreakers will give you extra grenade, but you will run out. So it's definitely good to have Ether Nova to just kind of ensure that you always have this grenade. Another tip too is as soon as you throw the grenade and run through it to kind of get behind it in position, just locate where the next lamp is. So many times you can get disoriented down here, especially when you're getting surrounded. So I think the pattern that I've adopted is throw the grenade, get behind it, locate the lamp, spin around, and fire Ether Nova. And just keep an eye on that Weight of Darkness. When that hits, yeah, so Frumblebat, you don't really need to run a grenade. You don't really need to run a gun with... I don't know. Grenadier doesn't... I prefer Ether Nova just because it fills it. I think it fills it up faster and you get an agility boost. Grenadier is also another decent choice, though I don't really have a good Grenadier gun, so that's why I kind of went with this. But it is a good substitute. Grenadier instead of the intrinsic perk, as not intrinsic, but instead of the perk for Ether Nova, if you haven't gotten Ether Nova from the Wrath raid. So that's a good tip. So you'll see here I just took out my sword. You're gonna run into two knights in your encounter here. This is the first one. So I'm running dark. Well, I think I thought that was it. I think it's coming up here. You want to run Dark Drinker if you have it, or Raise Lighter. Those are the two best options. If you don't, I'd run any other sword, and that's why you want to run Dark Drinker right there, because you're going to wipe this guy out in one R2 hit, or if you're on Xbox Trigger 2, whatever it is. So that's the first night. There's going to be a second one coming up in a little bit. But you can see here the pattern I'm doing is exactly the same the entire time. You're not changing it at all. You're throwing the grenade, get behind it, turn around, and start firing. One tip with the knights is You can run past them. I've seen some people try to like actually just kind of avoid them altogether. It's always seemed hit or miss for me. So I found if you have Dark Drinker, confronting them just seemed a little more consistent. Now I almost bite it there, but you do have res here. So if you die, just pop right back up. It's also res is also good if you're totally out of grenades and there's just no way you're gonna be able to do this. Just fight as many guys as you can and just die, and then pop res, throw the grenades, and move on. Because when you res, you will have no weight of darkness on you. So it's a good kind of get out of jail free card. I think I'm coming up on the second night now. There he is. So as soon as you kill this next knight, you're going to want to go up this hill. It's very dark, and this is where a lot of the deaths happen. Right here, see that pit right on the left? You want to hug that rock as much as you can. You can go around the right, too. I think it's probably a little safer. I don't know why I went left. I just always have gone left. So up here, you will have a little extra time. I think the Thrall have trouble getting up that hill, but just chuck the grenade and get ready to move. Now, when you turn to this lamp, that's not, you don't want to go there. That's technically the next lamp. You want to go to this one that I'm looking at now. So you're going to kind of like split the two lamps, run up to it, throw the grenade, get behind it, and start firing. Same thing. Now, as soon as Weight of Darkness is gone, you are going to turn around and you are going to bolt through the center and then jump on this like slate here. See that little left slab? And then jump onto this rock. There we go. So another good reason for using Aether Nova is you get a intrinsic agility boost, and it does help getting on that rock. There's been times where I just don't, I don't make it on the rock, and you gotta do the whole thing over again. Once you're on the rock, switch from Aether Nova to a sniper. No guys are going to be able to hit you. The only thing you're going to have to worry about is this ogre kind of stuck behind this lamp that you left untouched. I have seen him sneak out a couple times, but even if you don't have a sniper rifle or one that's a high impact, he gets stuck there so long, you just fire some scouts into him and he'll die. And then you just kind of wait up here for the encounter to end and you're done. This first part. The hardest part, I think, of this is just getting the initial pattern down of throwing it and orienting yourself as to where the lamps are, because you want to be able to always have spatial awareness in there because it's dark as hell. But other than that, this is actually not that tough a part. Getting on that rock can be a pain, but once you get the hang of it, it's just like jumping on anything else. The path forward is clear. Let's go. Always love doing that. Just a final FU to the Thrall. So for this next part, this is the bridge. This is you're gonna have to put your Warlock skills to test here. This is definitely a little bit tricky part. The first change we're gonna make here is we're gonna take out Bad Juju. It's not a must, but it's really gonna help because we want to get our super as fast as possible. So you can see I got Bad Juju out, and you are gonna spec for full agility. You can see what I did here. You're even gonna go with Angel of Light. That does give you a slight agility boost. Secondary, you can run shotgun or sniper. That's mainly going to be for killing the sword bearer. And if you have the raid boots from here, definitely use them because you get an agility boost when you're carrying the sword. And that's going to be really important for when you're doing, I don't know what the technical term is, for sword gliding across this cavern. So just jump onto the center circle here to start the encounter, kill some Thrall, and wait for that sword bearer to come out. There he is. I usually like to see where he is right now. This is where I usually like to hang out for the whole encounter. All right. Once you get him down, you're going to pick up the sword. You're going to go to this pillar right here, and you're going to jump on it. Okay? You're going to aim to the left, right where I'm looking right now, to the left of that platform. You're going to jump, and as soon as you see yourself start to fall, you're going to swipe twice in the same direction, and then turn a little bit to go across the bridge. Don't worry, I'm going to explain this a ton of times because you're going to see me do it 5 times. Once you get across the bridge here, do not get off this platform. If you get off the platform, it's going to ruin the encounter, which I can explain in a bit. The goal, obviously, here is to kill those gatekeepers with the sword. The first one you will almost certainly not be able to kill. Do not worry, that is totally fine. You have a ton of extra sword bearers to get across there. Now, when you're on that top pillar, right now what I'm doing is I'm just trying to get my super back and then kill the sword bearer and repeat. That's the process. So I got a little downtime here. I'm going to explain why there was a lot of fast moving parts there. So when you get on that pillar with the sword, you want to aim to the left of the platform that you're going to end up jumping to. The reason is there's like this invisible wall, and if you jump straight at the platform, you will actually just die. You'll like hit this wall and die. It's weird. So if you're finding that you're just instantly dying about halfway through the ravine, that's why you're not aiming left enough. So you would want to aim a little more left. If you look on my screen, that's a pretty safe distance of looking left. When I get on this pillar, you'll see. And you're going to want to double jump, right, with burst glide. If you're not using it, switch to burst glide. So you're going to double jump with burst glide. You're going to feel yourself fall for a second. Start swiping 2 swipes, and then start to turn a little bit. Keep swiping. Just mash that R1 button, the melee button if you got your button switch, to get on this platform. Do not leave this platform. The reason is if you leave the platform, you will res on that side B, instead of side A. If you stay on the platform, when you die, you'll res on side A. And this allows you to keep repeating this process over and over again. One other thing you might run into, I forget if I run into it here, is sometimes when you jump across, the gatekeepers that are left that you didn't kill the previous time, they sometimes are ignoring you. And this whole sword encounter from the point you pick it up is on a time limit, so you want to kind of get over there as quick as possible so you have enough time to kill the gatekeeper. If for some reason the gatekeeper's not looking at you, it can kind of hinder your mojo here, and you might not be able to actually kill a gatekeeper per jump, which is totally fine. Again, if you don't kill a gatekeeper, you have way extra swords than you need. I don't know the exact count, but you have a ton. What I will say is there's a way to make them aggro you. So as soon as you get to the other platform, just double jump. Immediately double jump in the air, and the gatekeepers will be like, oh, there's the guardian we were looking for, and they'll come after you. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to play it a little safe. Health's a little low. Definitely you want to try to not die. Yep, popping some special, keeping the shotgun going. That's going to be your main way of getting the sword bearer down. Don't be afraid to use your grenades here on him as well to hit him with Viking Funeral or whatnot. You're not really using the grenades for anything else. Yeah, I'm not doing a super great job here of killing him fast, but it is totally fine. The timer is not really until you pick up the sword, I believe. So you can kind of take your time with this. It's all over the place. There we go. All right, let's see this again. Grab it. Go to this platform. Yeah, sometimes you throw a grenade over those acolytes. They're kind of a pain in the butt. So jump on this platform. You're going to, again, aim to the left. Jump. Swipe, swipe, swipe. And start moving slowly over to the center. Once you get here, you're going to double jump if they're not aggroing you. Slam them. And use that super on the sword. If you don't know, the sword has a super, and it does a ton of damage. I'm pretty sure it's 1 super hit and then 1 R2 heavy hit to kill a gatekeeper. So definitely pop that super as soon as you can. This is also a pretty safe spot to stand if you're having trouble getting damaged. The reason is these acolytes over here and the knights are kind of a pain in the butt, and if you stay over here, you can kind of manage them pretty well. So this is usually where I stand, honestly. Yeah, these knights can be a pain. Definitely don't want to die there, especially on the. I think you have to do this. If I remember, yeah. Sometimes you just get in the flow here and you just keep going and keep going, and you forget. But I'm pretty sure you have to kill 5 gatekeepers. Got the sword. Gonna jump up here. Same thing. Aim left. Jump across. Swipe, swipe, swipe. Start turning slowly. Here we are. See, this guy's not looking at me, so I'm going to double jump, and now he's looking at me. Here he comes. I'm going to slam him. I don't know my super. There we go. I was a little close to getting off the platform there, so... So, after you kill enough gatekeepers, what's going to happen is the bridge is going to fully form. If you're coming from year 1, you'll notice this is a little different than with the ogres across the other side there. That's done. So after you kill the final gatekeeper, the bridge is going to form, and at that point, you're going to be able to grab a sword and move to side B freely. So just keep that in mind, because again, there's going to be a lot of fast-moving parts here. So just prefacing that a little bit, so when you see it happen, you'll know what's going on. Same thing. Just keep trying to get that super. One thing to just be aware of is you really do not want to even attempt to jump across that ravine unless you have your super. Yeah, you get a certain amount for killing the sword bearer, and then if you're like quick, you might not be paying attention. You think you have it, and then you don't, and you get over there and you can't res. So just to play it safe, just make sure you got your super and then kill the sword bearer. One other thing to note is that center circle that you stood on to start the entire encounter. Don't stand on that anymore. If you stand on it too long, you will auto wipe. All right, so I'm getting up here, aim left, double jump, swipe, 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 and starting to turn a little bit. Keep swiping. There we go. All right, no need to aggro him. He's there. Hit him. All right. You can now see what I just did there with the oh, I got 2 in 1 there. So what I just did where I used the super at the end, do not do that. That is actually not smart, because if you drop your sword, see how the bridge is fully formed, get a sword and run across it. If you drop your sword while you're hitting the super, sometimes it can trigger res and you'll screw yourself. So after you kill the final gatekeeper for this phase, grab a sword. If you didn't die, just grab a sword on the far side where you were and come over to this section where I'm going right now. This section is super safe. There are guys that come out behind you. You stay on a pillar where I just jumped, you will be totally safe. This is definitely the best spot to stand. Here I'm switching back to armor. It's not necessary if you're feeling confident, but you might as well take the time to do it. You're definitely going to be able to tank a lot more hits. I'm also going to switch to a sniper, and I'm going to switch to Gjallarhorn. So the whole part of this second phase is you got to kill all of the knights and acolytes and thrall here, and eventually when you do, 5, I believe, more gatekeepers will come out, which you need to kill with that sword that you brought over here. There is only one enemy here that really could pose an issue, and it's that. He's pink on my screen because I'm using the colorblind mode. But that boomer. Everyone else here is pretty much melee. I think there might be a couple acolytes, but they're not going to kill you if you're standing up on that rock. This is not super smart to do with the sword. I've had a decent amount of practice with it. If you want to have some fun, dance around and taunt them. But if this is your first time, what I'm going to advise you is stay on that top section that I was standing on and just snipe them. Hit them with the scout rifle. There is no time limit here. You don't need to go crazy with the sword. Especially since, see these guys came out from the back? See, if I was standing up there, they would just kind of run past me and I wouldn't even notice. So if you're going to go out and do the sword thing for some fun, I know it's tempting, just be aware that there's going to be guys that spawn behind you every once in a while. Aside from that, just keep picking people off. This is pretty fun. Like, you're shooting fish in a barrel over here. Oh, you can hear him coming to buy me. See, I wasn't looking. That's the danger of coming off that pillar. I probably should have picked a clipper. I actually stood up there, but this is what I had saved. Use those grenades. There's a lot of them. I mean, this could take a little while, which is why it's tempting, I guess, to use the sword for the super. But there are a lot of guys you got to clear out. But there's really no. The point is, there's really no threat here. So just have some fun and go to town. The Ex Machina is so great. I love the reload sound too. They did such a great job with the raid weapons for Wrath of the Machine. I really hope that follows a similar model for Destiny 2. That was I think one of the best parts of the Wrath of the Machine raid is just how fun and unique these raid weapons felt. Oh, here we go. You can see some gatekeepers pouring out. So, just like before, the only way you can kill the gatekeepers was with the sword. So now you're going to have to pick up the sword. If you really wanted to be super, super safe, you could just make sure you picked off everyone that was not a gatekeeper first. That's really not necessary. What you want to do is pick up the sword and kind of cheat up a little bit and then smash them with the super. They will... See the steps that I'm like kind of teetering on? I'm behind them now. These enemies will not come up these steps at all. Like, see, I'm sitting down. They won't come up here. So you're totally safe up here. Wait for your super to charge for the sword, because that's going to be your heaviest attack. Then like kind of bait down here. There you go. Bait him, hit him with the super, and then jump back. That was a little bit of a close call. Yeah, you can swipe away if you need to. But stand right on the steps. They won't come. Wait for the super to charge. And bait him out a little bit. It's a little boring, but this is the safest way to do it. I mean, if you want to be a hero and run up there, you can, but I've definitely died late in the game because of this. There you go. You get your reward and you're on to the next section. So for this next section, I do a separate clip here. I'm going to use Angel of Light just for the extra... Oh, I guess I'm not. I forgot. You can use Angel of Light for the extra agility. Not really necessary. You do want Gjallarhorn for this if you have it. All right. So this is all about killing the Shriekers. There's 2 Shriekers, and they have a invisible wall that prevents you from moving forward until you kill them. You want to galley the first Shrieker immediately, and then start jumping up the left side. Galley the second one as soon as you see it, and jump through. I'm not going to lie. This part is actually pretty tough. I struggled a lot to get through this just because sometimes the purple orb stuff, it's very hit or miss if it tracks you, is what I found. So just take your time with it. It's going to take you a couple tries, but I definitely use Galley. For this next spot, we're going to fight your Ute, and you're going to want to switch to Raise Lighter. Dark Drinker will also work, but I am a fan of Raise Lighter for this part. Sniper, preferable, but not necessary. I like to use a Scout with explosive rounds, just for crowd control. See what I'm doing there? I'm switching to Scabbard for a second. I'm doing this because I want to get as much sword ammo as possible, and then you absolutely must switch back to Warrior of Light. That's very important. When you have a ton of sword ammo, if you can use Radagast too, if you have that artifact, that'll give you extra sword ammo. Just make sure you have your sword out when you pop the synth, or it won't work. Okay, you're going to run up the right side here, kill 2 of these Yellow Bar Knights and all the Acolytes. You need to kill the 2 Yellow Bar Knights and the Acolytes to ensure that the rest of the enemies come out on that side. Then you're going to leave and you're going to jump across. You're going to do the same thing here. With Raise Lighter, it's 1 R1 hit, 1 R2 hit to kill a Yellow Bar Knight if you're using Warrior of Light. That's why you need to use it. When you kill the Acolytes and the Knights on this side, run inside, and you're going to R2 the Witch while she's charging you. That's kind of important. And then you're going to blow up the Shrieker as fast as you can. When you blow up the Shrieker, you're going to bail out of this room, and you're going to go across to the other side where you originally started killing enemies. Chuck a grenade over there to get them started. R2. Kill everyone, go inside, and kill the Shrieker. Just so you know, it's good to kill the witch, the first witch that you kill. It's good to kill her when she's charging you because she's low to the ground. It'll ensure that you get her with the R2 hit. You can block. If you got Radagast, it's going to fly back at you. If you don't, it really doesn't matter. Just absorb all of the orbs with your sword. Then run in here and kill the Yellow Bar Knights. Do not worry about Iryu yet. Once you kill the Yellow Bar Knights, now you're just going to wail on her. If she's giving you trouble with the R2 hit, which definitely does happen, you can just jump and double swipe her. To do the double swipe, you jump in the air and hit R1 and then R2. And that's it. That's the Iryu fight. You cannot do the challenge mode on one person, so don't even try it. Okay, for this, you're going to switch to Touch of Flame. You're going to switch off of Res to Radiant Skin. You're going to make sure you have a shotgun, and you need sleeper stimulant. That is a must, at least for this method. Now, most of the pros you watch, Glad, Esoteric, they will defeat Crota on 390 in 4 kneels. And what I mean by that is every time Crota kneels down, you have an opportunity to damage him. He can be killed in 4 kneels. I am going to do it in 5. And the reason I'm going to do it in 5 is because it is very tricky to get the necessary amount of hits consistently to kill him in 4 kneels. I have done it. I've tried a ton of times. And then I read a tip of a new hit pattern that is pretty consistent as long as you do the 5 kneel. So that's the method I'm going to do. So you're going to kill the guys inside. You're going to run out, grab the... Yep, okay, so just kill the sword bearer with the shotgun. Jump up there, grab the Chalice of Light. Chalice of Light, sorry. Jump onto low rock. Drop the sword. Pop your Radiance and chuck 2 grenades, 3 grenades. Now wait, look at your grenade recharge. When that recharges almost all the way, you're going to jump up there. 1 R2, 1 R1, and then 2 more R2s. Don't worry, we're going to go over this many times. Then you're going to jump back down to low rock. You're going to aim right where I'm aiming with Sleeper. You're going to get 3 ricochets off this rock on Sleeper to the Oversoul and defeat it in 2 shots. Again, don't worry, we're going to do this another 4 times. After you're done with that, get in the Yoga Room. Just start killing ads and wait for the next sword bearer to come out. Let me go over a couple of things. Frumblebat, the reason I am not killing all the knights in the first room is because this encounter is on a timer, and Crota will enrage if you take too long. So I'm trying to save some time by not killing all the knights in the room. It's not necessary. They will not bother you. I just kill one side just to be certain so they don't smash me on my way out. Here's the sword bearer. If you are not seeing the sword bearer for a while, it's possible he is hiding behind that pillar you see to the left. Just kind of run out there and shoot him a couple times to aggro him. Now you do not want to kill the sword bearer until you see Crota strafe across the top. You can jump up to check on Crota. I think I don't do a great job of tracking Crota here, and I let him go. But the reason you want to wait to kill the sword bearer is that sword, once it drops, is on a despawn timer. So if you kill him too quick, sometimes the sword despawns and you're out of luck. See, right now, I did a really bad job of tracking Crota. I think I do a better job in one of the later passes. So I think Crota hasn't come back yet, but I actually think he did. So now I'm like, oh, he came back. I'm going to grab the sword. I'm going to come back up to bottom rock. I'm going to drop the sword. Turn around. I'm going to Radiance. I'm going to throw 3 grenades. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to crouch to be safe. Look at that respawn on the grenade. When it's full for the second charge, jump up. R2. I do the wrong pattern there, but the pattern is R2, R1, R2, R2. Jump down to low rock. Pop the Oversoul in that lower outer edge to 2-tap it. Now get back in the Yoga Room. Watch out for the Cursed Thrall. So, on this pass, After 2 kneels, you're going to have ogres come out. One ogre is going to be in this room that you're standing. The other is going to spawn in the opposing room across. This is where you're going to use the shotgun. Keep an eye out for the ogre on your radar. When he pops out, you're going to throw a Viking Funeral solar grenade at him to get him started and just unleash into him with a shotgun. If you have Found Verdict, Matador, any of that will work. So at this point, I have a ton of heavy ammo. I would honestly just use Sleeper here. Just pummel the other ogre as fast as possible. I've seen a lot of people use Sniper. Some people just use Primary. Some people run out there with a shotgun to get him. Just play it safe and just use Sleeper. There's really no point. You get a ton of heavy. You have synths at this point. Everyone's got synths. This is not super smart what I'm doing. But I'm scared of the Cursed Thrall. Okay, Crota is rotating back. That is your cue to move. You're going to jump into the center right now. You technically don't have to do this. You could stay in the ogre room, but when you're doing 5 passes, you need to be efficient with your time. And so Crota has rotated, and the Sword Bearer is not out yet. So I'm waiting to kill the Sword Bearer as fast as possible. Solar grenade to get him started. I'm out of shotgun ammo. That was pretty bad management there, but you definitely want to make sure you have shotgun ammo. Grab the sword, bottom rock, drop the sword, pop res. If Crota is not there, double jump, just like you did with the gatekeepers. Double jump to make him aggro you. That's important to know. R2, R1, R2, R2. Get back down to the Oversoul and pop it. If you are struggling to get hits in on Crota, one thing that I struggled with a lot is I thought you had to be really close to Crota to damage him. You actually do not need to be very close to Crota at all to hit him with that R2 lunge swipe. So as soon as you jump up on that platform, get ready to hit it because he's going to be starting to kneel and you have to be only like mid-distance to connect. So if you are struggling to get the full amount of hits for this try not waiting for Crota to be knelt and then damage him. Damage him as soon as he starts the kneeling animation with that R2 lunge. That'll make it easier for you to get all the hits in. Just make sure you always have your super, just like with the bridge part. You want to make sure you always have your super. If you don't, you're not going to be able to do the trick with the grenades. Now, a lot of people use fusion grenades for this part. I found them to be way less consistent, so I actually figured out this pattern with the, watching the grenade recharge. You need full discipline for this method. Drop the sword. 3 grenades. Hit the sword there. Okay, 3 grenades. Watch the grenade recharge. It's almost ready. Grab the sword and jump up. This time, you're not going to do the pattern. You're going to hit them with 1 R2 and 1 R1. Okay, that's the 4th pass. On the 4th kneel, where the experts would kill him, you are only going to hit him with an R2 and an R1. Now, the reason you're doing that is because while Crota has an enraged timer based on time, he also has an enraged timer based on damage. So if you did any more hits than that using this method, Crota would enrage, and when he enrages if you don't have enough time to kill him, you're dead basically. You're gonna have to wipe. So just trust me on this. For the first 3 passes, your pattern, here's the ogres again, same as last time. For the first 3 patterns of damaging Crota, kneels 1 through 3, R2, R1, R2, R2. And for the 4th pattern, R2, R1. And then for the 5th pattern, you're going to go for broke and just kill him. Again, just use Sleeper here. Don't save it. This is going to be the last pass. If you see the Enrage pop up, I forget if it pops up here, but if you see the Enrage pop up, do not worry. You still have time. It'll say Enrage is near. You still have a couple minutes. You looked at Crota's health there. That's where his health should be approximately for this, if you're getting the full amount of hits. There's some good Reddit guides. I thought Crota had rotated. He didn't. That's not great. There's some good Reddit guides you can find, like gauging how many hits you have left based on Crota's health. But if you follow this exact pattern, it's going to work. I've done it a ton of times. See, there's Enrager's near. No need to panic. Plenty of time left. Here comes the Sword Bearer. Grenade him. I got shotgun ammo this time. Thank God. Grab that sword, and you're going to go over to bottom rock for the victory lap. Drop it. Pop it. Aggro him by double jumping. 3 grenades. They all connected. Crouch to be safe. Wait for the recharge. Grab the sword. Jump up there. R2. See, I hit him as he was kneeling. R2, R1, R2, R2. And Crota is dead. You have soloed Crota before Destiny 2. Congratulations. It's pretty fun. Honestly, it's definitely going to take you a lot of tries. Do not be discouraged because it is not easy. I definitely recommend doing the technique for 5 kneels. It is way safer. It's way more consistent. That Crota part is known. Anyone who's played in Year 1 has known that thing's been glitchy since it was launched. So you definitely want to play it as safe as there you can get. So hope you liked the video. I was really inspired by guys like Esoteric and Glad, and it was cool to be able to try to find a way for me to be able to do this. I hope this is helpful. If you enjoyed the video, throw me a follow, Lobozone1_PSN, and I'll catch you guys later.